Hi guys, today we are going to study what is variables in JavaScript. Last time we discussed what is JavaScript and how to run it. Today we are going to talk about variables. So this is the primitives type that you should learn first. So variable is this is just some point to memory which is contains some data. For example, we can create variables like this. So this is variable, and we said to JavaScript create me some variable which has name just a, and this variable should have some memory, and in this memory please put me 5. Well, we can put anything that we want in this memory. For example, I can write some hello world or something like this. So I can write some data there. So this is some data which will contain in memory, and we will have link to this data with this variable. And this is very useful because, for example, people can write some data. They can write in form like, for example, their age or their name, and you need to store this information somewhere. So you can store it in your memory and have link to this memory, and you can know, for example, that this person name is Max and this girl age is 18, and for this we can use variables. This is very useful thing. Variable can contain almost anything. We are going to talk about what they can contain today. But first we are going to talk about name of these variables. So what name can you give for a variable? Well, it can be anything, any text like test or something like this. And also you can reuse this variable. For example, I can create variable test and then console log it. So if I rerun my script, as you see, oh, I didn't save it. Yeah. As you see, there is hello world. It works perfectly. About name, I can name it like some letters. I can call it with some symbols like this, and also I can give some numbers. So this variables is perfect variable. I can run it. It works the same as you see, but I can't move my digit to the first place. It will not work. So this variable is not working because the variable should not be on as a first char. So as you see, I have some error. Yeah, also I can use, for example, like Deutsch or Japanese or Russian symbols. For example, I can write this letter and use it as my symbol. So symbols from other languages, they works fine, as you see. So this is about naming. Also you can create a couple variables on same line. For example, I can make it like this: a equal hello world and b equal to 5, and I can console log, for example, b, and as you see it works perfect. And this is what about how we create in these variables, about what we can put in these variables. As you see, we can put some phrase, some string like hello world. Also we can put their number, for example, something like this. Oh, yeah. This number can have can be like this. and it works perfectly, as you see. About strings, string can be like with like this, or they can be like this. Work the same. Oh, sorry. Work the same, as you see. Also, they can be true or false. So I can create couple variables, A and B, let's say. They can have special values. It's true or false. Well, as you see, true it's true, false or it's false. We can use it, for example, if person, let's say, wrote his age, and we need to make sure it's greater than 18. So we can compare them, and if it's greater than 18, we can write true, and if it's not, we can write false. Yeah, it's obvious. Also, we can make it like null and undefined. True, false, null, and undefined. This is special names. I can write variable like C and something. It will make exception. But null and undefined, this is special names which I can use to say that this variable is undefined and this variable is null. So what is the difference between null and undefined? If I create some variable, let's say C, and don't give anything as this variable, it's undefined. So undefined is when variable doesn't have any value, it doesn't point anywhere. And null, it means that we don't have value. For example, if we try to look in some database and search for some person, and this person isn't there, we can say that this person is null, so it's absent, this doesn't pair. So it's show us that some data is absent, and this and undefined means that we even don't undefine nothing, so there wasn't nothing, doesn't point anywhere, it's just undefined. Yeah, something like this. Also, it's interesting when, for example, you have some number like 3.18. It works like this. If there will be 0, works the same. But we can just delete 0 if this is 0. So we can write like this, work the same. So 0 is optional for you. If you want to create some digit like this, you can make it like this. Also, there is some specific constants. For example, infinity. Well, infinity, it's like infinity, you know what does it mean. And now our number, it has positive infinity. Well, the name tells it's the everything tells just positive infinity. You can get it, for example, if you if you make it like this, you will get infinity. Also, you have number max value. It's maximum values that our number can have. If you make it like +1, you will have the same number, so you can't go further than max value. Same thing about negative. You can have negative infinity. Yeah, it's like negative. We can have number negative infinity. So it's like this. And if you minus 1 and like this, you will have minus infinity, negative infinity. Also you can try to minus number and max value and minus 1. Yeah, it will have the same value which is max value. You can go further. Also, there is a special none. None is like not a number. It's like number none. So sometimes you can have none. For example, if you 0 by 0 divide, you will have none. So none, it's like not a number. Okay, you can have a number mean value split on 2. You will have 0. Yes, but if we will do the same with minus, we will have minus 0. So 0 can be minus. Yeah, it's some strange. If you work with math, it looks crazy, but JavaScript has this crazy math with make our 0 is negative. For example, if we like minus 1 split on divided on infinity, we will have minus 0. Yeah, it's crazy, I know. Also, there is crazy mathematics. For example, 0.3 minus 0.2. How do you think will it be? Yeah, it should be 0.01, but it's as you see, it's infinite nines. Yeah, a little bit crazy. But if I make 2 minus 1, I will get like 0.1. It's like correct. So it means what? It means that you never can use JavaScript to work with money. So if you lose some sense, it can make really crazy results. So never use JavaScript to work with monies. Yeah, that's the law. Also, there is a couple interesting things that you can do with variables. For example, if you create variable which is date. For date, you can use, for example, new date. Let's say. So it's like January 14, 2010. And also I can create some other date, let's say 17, 10, 15. So Y, it's like the same date, but no, Z. But it's 17, 10, 15. Yeah, as you see. And we can do next thing with it. I can make like I minus Z, and it will give me some number. This number is a count of seconds. Well, milliseconds. It's milliseconds. It's divided. It's like one date minus second date, and we have a count of seconds between these two dates. Yeah, it's a little bit crazy, but JavaScript can do that. Anyway, let's continue and talk a little bit about strings. So string you can create like this, or you can create like this. Result will be the same. Also I can use strings like this. Result the same. But why do I need this? I can create like I can make it like this. My name is Max. So in a result string, I will have string which will look like this, as you see. So I can use different kind of quotas and one quotas in other quotas. Also I can make it like this, and result almost the same. It just use other quotas. Point of this that I can't move this because it will don't know that all this is one string, so that's why I can't make it like this. And also I can concatenate strings. What does it mean? It means, for example, I can create var a, which is hello, var b, which is world, and then I can make like a plus b. Result will be hello world. So I can concatenate strings like this. Also I can take some string, for example a, and get some specific char. For example, the first char, which is h, second char, which is a, and I can find out how many chars is there. So there is 6 chars. It's like hello plus this space. These have 6 chars. I can work with strings like that. Also, as I already said, sometimes we need to create variables which has value true or false. For example, if person enter his age, and we need to know if this age is bigger than 18 years, greater than 18 years old. And we can create variables which is true or false. Let's say a can be true and where b can be false. Also we can get it like var c, which is let's say some a, or let's say var age, it's like 15, 14, and we can get var c age, var c age bigger than 18, and it will be var c age bigger than 18, and it will be false because 14 is smaller than 18. Yeah. So sometimes we can get true or false, and c it's false. And sometimes you need to show some content. Let's say if person is bigger than greater than 18 years old. So for this we can use our if operation. Well, we will talk about if in next lesson. I just want to show you that why we can make use boolean like true or false. So if c, if age more than 18, we will console log. Let's say you can see this, and as you see you can see it, it's not in console. So yeah, like this. It doesn't work. But if I say, let's say 22 is more than 18, then it will write, you can see this in console. So boolean, it's like true or false. If something bigger than something, or smaller, or equal, we can use boolean variables like true or false when we compare some data. But what is interesting, that let's say something like this. If 1 equal 2, console log, you can see this. And we can see this because 1 it's not 2, but 2 is 2, then we will see this. So as you understand, if here we have true, it will work. If it's not true, it will not show for us this message. And what's interesting, that we can take something and put here, and it will become boolean. It will become true or false. And let's do it with undefined. Is it true? No, it's not. We can do it with null. Is it true? No, all variables with null is false. Okay, let's make it 1. Is it true? No, it's not true. But if variable have 1, it's true. 2, 3, 4, any value which is not 0, it will be true, as you see. And minus 0, it's also false, as you see. What about not a number? None is false. And empty string is false either. So you should know this when you work with boolean, that that your variable can have some values as null, undefined, 0, none, or empty string, and all these values will be false, and this code will never work if it false. Okay, we now can create some variables. You know that they can have value as string, number, or boolean. But there is also object values, and values that we worked with, they are primitives. If you Google in JavaScript, there is couple primitives. It's like string, number, boolean, null, undefined, and symbol. About symbol we will talk in separate lesson. It doesn't matter for now, but we are already know that value can be some string, number, boolean, null, or undefined. But also there is objects. So I can create some object like this, like variable obj, and value has 5, let's say. So this is some object. We will talk about object in separate lesson, don't worry about it. But what is the difference between object variables and primitive variables? Primitive variables, you can't change their value. What does it mean? Let me show you. So let's say I have variable a, var a, it's like 5, and I can make it like a equal 6, and then I can console log my a variable, and look like we changed the value, but actually not. Actually we created new variable, and it is in new memory. So to change variable value, you need to use like uh, like you need to create new one, and it will be new memory, and we use this operator, equal operator. But about objects, we can create one object and change information in this object. So for example, we have object which has variable a which is equal to 5. Then I can make change it. I can write obj a equal to 6, and then make like obj a. So it's 6. It works like almost the same, but the original object doesn't change. I don't need to write obj equal a 6. No, I don't need it. I already have some memory which contains some value, and I can change this value. Maybe it's hard to explain. I can show you like this. So let's say we have some stack with variables, and we have some memory, and I create variable a, and I said let's this variable have value 5, and this 5 I can never change. If I need to make a equal to some other value, I need to create new memory and put there 6 and destroy the old value. So now a is equal 6. But what about objects? If I have some object and it point to some memory like this, I don't need to create new memory. I can change existing memory. I can say that my object has a and it equals 5, and today I want to make equal 6, so I can erase some information and make it new, and I don't need to change memory, point to memory. I will point to the same memory and change information here. So something like this is working in memory, and this is the main difference between primitives and objects. In object I can change them, in primitives I can't. I need to create a new memory each time when I need to change this object, change value of this object. Yeah, something like this. For example, let's say we have variable which is string. I can make it like this, s to uppercase, and as you see I make it the bigger, but original s hasn't changed. My s is the same, so memory which points this s is the same. When I call uppercase, it's just took this information, create new string, and put it on string with console log. Yes, so if you run some methods, they usually don't override original string. It always makes new. Original strings never change. Okay, let's go further. So now we know that there is numbers, booleans, and strings. But what we can do with them? Can we use them? What is interesting that we can work with them together, use them together. For example, what would be if I take 10 plus some string? Yes, it's add them together and we have string like 10 is df. Yeah. But what about if I try to take, let's say, 7 and multiply to 4? Both of them is string, but they became numbers and multiply them. So JavaScript can understand what do you mean if both operand is numbers but they are strings. It will make them numbers and multiply them. This is very interesting in JavaScript. Also, I can try like 1 minus let's say hello. It will be none, not a number. So what happened? It took number and tried to subtract string, but string can be combined as number, so that's why we get not a number. But what if I take none and let's say plus hello? Oh, hello. It will add them, and as you see, it will be like none and hello. Yeah, it's very interesting that JavaScript works like this. And we can compare some different types. For example, what would be if I null is it equal to undefined? Yes, it's equal. You can think that this is strange, but they are equal. What about 0 string and 0 number? Yes, they are equal. It's same. What about false? Is 0 equal to false? Yes, it's true, they are equal. Even if it's number, it's equal. Oh, yes. If it's 1, it's equal to true, as you see. So that's how we can use a different type of variables. We can compare them, we can subtract them, multiply, and add them. Yeah. Also, these primitive types, for example, if I write 5, it will be just 5. It's primitive type. But what if I want to make it object type? I can make it with wrapper. There is a couple wrapper, number, string, and boolean. And I can create from primitive types object types. If I say number, new number, let's say 5, it will create object which contains my number 5. Same with strings. I can create string, make some stir, and it will create object which is string, as you see. Same with new boolean, and it creates object which is contained boolean. It's like wrapper for our primitive types. If I say just true, it will be just a true. It's not an object. Yeah, but new boolean, new string, and new number create objects from primitives. And what's interesting, if I create new object and make it like 5, it will create object number. So it understand what it gets. If this is number, it will create number. If string, it will create string. If boolean, it will create boolean. Yeah. Also, there is couple interesting things. First thing, what if I try to make 3 plus string? It will make string 3. So what happening? It tried to add them, and it understands that there is a string and 3 is number. So it will create string 3 from this number, and it will add them. Interesting logic. But what if I try to make like plus 3? It will make number 3. Yeah, it's interesting. It works like this in JavaScript. And also there is operator which work with boolean, which means not. So if I say like not true, will be false. And I can make not 3. It will be true. So what happened? It takes strings 3, convert it to boolean, and we had true. Then it makes it false, and then it makes true. So not it works like make from true false and from false true. Yeah. Something like this. If you don't understand, don't worry, we will talk about true and false in the future. Also, let's create some variable, let's say it n number, and make some value like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.7, 8, and 9. There is couple useful methods which all numbers have like n to fix it, and there I can say I want to see 0 numbers, and it will make it like show numbers only before this dot. If I say 2, it will show 2 numbers after the dot. If I make it like 5, it's a couple zeros at the end. Yeah, so that's how to fix it works. Of course, yeah, there is precision. To precision, let's make it 6. Yeah, so it's like my 6 numbers. If I make it 7, it will take 7 numbers. If I set 10, it shows 10 numbers with zeros at the end. Yeah, so that's how precision works. And we almost done. Also, sometimes we got some information and we want it came to us as string, and we want to parse it and make from string to number. For this we have a couple interesting methods. For example, parse int. It's created from string number. So right now it can't parse, but if I say, let's say 3, I don't know, mice, yeah, int, yeah, so 3 mice, it parsed and get information from it. It get number, which is 3. What if I try to make it like this? It just doesn't work. So to parse a float number, we need parse float, and now it gets right number. What about minus? As you see, it works with negative numbers too. Also, it can work with if you know what is hex numbers, it works with hex. So for example, 0xff, yeah, it's better to use int probably. Yeah, so 0xff will have 255. If you know what is hex numbers is, you will understand it. But what if I try to make it like this, like float, and let's say 0.1. Okay, it works. But what if I try to make it like this? It works, as you see. The same result. What about let's say if I want to parse some dollar, I will have none, not a number. So it just doesn't work. And if I try to make it like int, it doesn't work either. So this is the basic of working with variables in JavaScript. Well, there was a lot of information. Probably this information you will need if you finish this course and you will come back, you will see, and you will understand everything. But for now, probably there is a lot of things that you can't understand, but you will, trust me. The main idea what you need to get from this lesson is that we can create variables, and these variables, they like link to some memory, and this memory can have some information like strings, numbers, and boolean values. Of course, there is a lot of more like functions, objects, arrays, but we will talk about them in the future. So if you talk about primitive types, there is just a few of them. We can store them in memory and do some operations with them. Some operations I show you today, and you will probably use or work with these operations or something like this. So this is the main idea, that you can create variables, they have some value, you can use this value. And in next lessons we will move further and study some additional things like objects, arrays, and many more. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Bye.